Rolling on with our coverage here at the NFL Scouting Combine. I'm Connor Rogers from NBC Sports, alongside my number one wide receiver in this draft. And I'm not saying that because he's sitting next to me. It's been that way since the summer. Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Man, how you doing today?
Doing good. Blessed to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's awesome to have you here. I got to start with this. Listen, I'm in the New York area. Just watched Garrett Wilson win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Cris had a good season. And you had over 1,600 yards playing with them. What is going on with Ohio State with these wide receivers, man? You guys are polished. You're ready to go. It's been awesome to watch you guys play.
Right. I mean, the development there is second to none. And, to have a guy in the room, Coach Brian Hartline, who's played the game and, who can give us feedback on the daily and knows the game, and recruiting guys who love to play ball. It's plain and simple. Recruiting great guys who love to play ball and love to compete. Just looking to your left and the right and seeing, first rounders, everywhere. Starting with Cris and Garrett, Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming, Emeka Egbuka. I can go on. It's just, it's fun. It's fun to be in that room, and it's a privilege to be in that room. And being there is just a blessing. And Coach McMurati does a great job, getting our bodies right. And it's just us willing to compete every day and try to be the best.
When I watch you play, my favorite aspect of your game is the adjustments and the fearlessness in the middle of the field. You can adjust catches basically behind your back, anything in that 10 to 20-yard range. When a team sits down with you and they go, what's the best aspect we're getting out of Jaxon Smith-Njigba? What do you tell them?
I would just say, first, my playmaking ability, my ability to get open and be there for my quarterback, my accountability. My quarterback's going to know, it's going to be, he's going to know that I'm working and I'm going to be open. And I think that's just the best quality to have. Man-to-man, I beat my man. Zone coverage, I find a zone and catch the ball. And when I have the ball in my hands, I have pride in, getting what I can and making things happen.
It's narrative season with the draft. And a funny one that we see way too much is, he's a slot guy. And it's like, in high school, I know you did everything, right. Literally everything. And you went to a program, played as a young guy where not a lot of young guys get on the field right away. Right. And you happen to play in the slot. What do you say when the team goes, we might want to play you inside, outside as well?
I feel like you said, my bread and butter, is, outside man-to-man coverage, beat your man on the outside. That's what I'm accustomed to growing up, going to Ohio State, my first year, I played X, to get on the field, which,
Sure.
Is an outside receiver, and to get on the field in 2021, you got Cris and Garrett on the outside. So, I'm not trying to be a backup. So, yeah, plug me into the slot. I got enough passion, to make things done in the running game and also the passing game. So, I think they just want to use all their weapons. And I'm a type of player, wherever you put me, I can get the job done, no matter where it is.
You brought up Cris and Garrett. Obviously, they both had great NFL seasons. Whoever drafts you knows they're getting one of the more polished players in this draft. What was it like being in the room with them, and how does the relationship you have with them, how does that help you make this next step?
Yeah, just having a great relationship with them, a brother relationship, it's been awesome. And I definitely wouldn't be here without those guys, being in my ear, just give me the confidence boost that I need. And, just me being able to sit back and watch them, go to work every day and to finally see them on the highest stage, doing their thing definitely gives me a lot of confidence. And, but, I'm my own man and I got to go out there and do it, and that's always been my mindset. But, I definitely appreciate them and, them going first, so to speak. Others definitely have been before them to do the same thing and for them to give it back. And for me just to try to give it back, that's just, how our relationship is, how, Zone 6 is. So it's awesome.
What would it be like teaming up with them again? Some mock drafts have you the Jets at 13. If you walked back in, whether it's the Jets or the Saints, what would it be like playing with them again?
It would be a great experience, playing with them or playing against them. But, playing with them, I know their tendencies, and I feel like I can go into offense and know my role and get the job done. So it would definitely be awesome, to line up with Garrett or Cris. That would be, unbelievable.
This is the time of year where we get player comparisons going left and right, but who do you, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, like to take things from someone's game and go, I want to implement that, whether it's a guy playing or a guy that is retired?
Right. Oh, a guy that's retired, Steve Smith, and just his approach to the game.
Yeah.
I love Steve Smith, watching his film. But, some guys that play today, like Devontae Adams, his releases, I try to study that. I I study the heck out of that. Cooper Kupp, his ability to find space and get open and make the defense pay and take advantage of the defense is something I look at a lot. Stephon Diggs, his over-exaggeration on routes and, his awareness, always looking around, and Jamar Chase and how he stays skinny and run through defenders. Those are the main 4 guys that I look to, and Steve Smith, the guy that, I try to bring the same approach to.
You got to play with some pretty good quarterbacks at Ohio State, and you guys did right for them very often. Justin obviously has been in the league, but CJ about to go into the league. How does it help when you make that adjustment that you're playing essentially with pro quarterbacks even before you get to the pros?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even playing in high school, just playing with 2 different quarterbacks I thought was good. Jacob Clark, that's in Missouri State right now, and Braden Locke that just transferred to Wisconsin, and then going up to – so I feel like always been able to adjust. I try to be a quarterback's best friend, and I had that in high school, with Jacob Clark, and then going to college and having that with C.J. Stroud was unbelievable, and Justin Fields, just being able to get the job done no matter who it is, just being there for my quarterback, know that, he has a friendly target, and it's definitely been a blessing to have those guys, elite quarterbacks, and they definitely made my job a lot easier also.
A team sits down with you and they go, you can't say the Rose Bowl, but
Yeah.
what game do we start with watching your tape?
Right.
That one's too easy.
Yeah.
It's too good.
Yeah. I think the Nebraska game
Okay.
in 2021 was a good game for me. Garrett was out that game, so I had to take on a bigger role. And I feel like I showed up that game. It's one of the games that, I look at and I love to watch. So I would say that was a pretty good game with me.
Getting away from football, what do you do away from football, and what would you do if football wasn't the future for your career?
Right. Something I do away from football is just, I like to be around loved ones. I like to be around my friends, of course, and my brother and my family, probably going to dinner. I like eating some good stuff, trying new things. But if it wasn't football, it would definitely, I would definitely be trying to help the youth somehow, some way, if that's rehab or or just coaching or giving back somehow to the youth. That's our future, and got to make sure they're going down the right path. I'm very passionate about that, and yes, sir.
Last one, what's that celebration meal then after you get drafted in the first round?
Oh, celebration meal. We either going with some fried chicken or a fat steak for sure. Mashed potatoes, gravy, mac and cheese, asparagus, broccoli, everything. Everything's going to be on the table.
Face lit up. He's ready for that draft night celebration. The best wide receiver in the draft, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Really appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me. Yes, sir.